Hey fishy friends, this is all about fish and it's mostly about rainbows. So just a quick update on some of the rainbows. These are all from Dan's Fish that I have in what I call the rainbow room. The Melitania rubrostriata, a pair of those are doing great. Sex lineato, this guy's always had raised gill plates. It was a fry from a pair that was in here previously, and I've been thinking about moving him in the 55 since he's the only one I have in there. And then over here are the Melitania trifasciata, Blythe River from Dan's, and I've got a couple of I don't remember what cories they are. I have so many different cories. But this is the guy that had seizures when Dan would feed the fish, and it would have seizures, and I offered to take it. He didn't want to sell it, of course, like that, and so I took it and brought it here, and of course I put it in quarantine. Some of these tanks are connected on this rack, but look at the algae. Horrible. No, I love my algae. Anyway, this one is not connected to any others, so this was a great little QT tank for him and to isolate him. So I put a couple of cats in there. They were just little things then. And when I would feed him, he never had got bugs flying around from all of my bioactive reptile things. He would never have a seizure. So I thought, well, what's different, you know? And it became pretty apparent that it was that he wasn't getting as excited, and you know, the other fish, there were no other fish to compete with except the catfish, and that's no competition for a rainbow. So I'm in here feeding. I did water change here earlier today, actually on a couple rooms, and these tanks were one of the rooms. So I'm sitting here feeding and just enjoying, and look what I discovered. He's got a buddy in there, and I think it's a female, and it would have jumped from this group over here. And these are the same fish, so that's lucky. And I've been thinking about moving him over with this group. Got a male and two females, it looks like, still in there. So I guess I had a male with three females in here. So we'll see. Yeah, that's definitely a female. And he's starting to get the humpback and so on and so forth. And he had a little bit of, I don't know, not a real full looking abdomen down there at his belly. So he looks like he's starving, but he's a great eater. He loves to eat. And of course I've got Jess's albino, or gold, not albino, gold mystery snails spawning like crazy everywhere. And there goes one parachuting as I speak. Several generations in that, and this tank I finally restricted where I was letting these guys breed because I was getting so many. But yeah, so I had been feeding him with this fish apparently and didn't notice it at first, and I'm gonna go ahead and feed some more. Got plenty of snails that'll eat it, and catfish, Corydoras. I think I'm spooping that other fish, and it must have jumped over there when I did water changes earlier today. I'm glad it jumped that way. I don't think it can get, no, there's no other way to get over there. So I'm glad it jumped that direction. I don't see the newcomer now, but I'm planning on leaving it in there since it hasn't created any issues, and this spawning mop couldn't have any eggs in it now unless unless they've made their way over from this Rubro striata pair. So I'm gonna move this spawning mop, I think, over here and see what happens. Be great if it actually would spawn. It's not bothering that fish. It's probably glad to have another rainbow in there. There it comes. Excuse me. Gosh. Hay fever. Let's look a little closer. Hey, buddy. And of course I had to name the fish Dan, because you know fish need names. Wish I could fatten him up, but I've tried for several months. You guys are terrible, terrible beggars. There you are. So, I guess that's all I needed to show you. Take a quick look up top, up here. Yeah, always room for one more bite. Take a quick look up top and see what's going on. Look at that. We're not up top yet, but I mean, look at this fish. And not a whole lot of color. I mean, they have enough, but not as colorful as some. It's just the pattern and the finish. They're just stunning on these guys. That's the Rubro striata. And my prize buddy. All the ladies love him, so he's by himself right now. It's not a Godiata Kai, it's a Godiai Kaura from a different collection point. And I've mentioned before that I sold my Godiata Kai. I was begged and begged and begged. I got those from Lucas for a couple years for them, and they didn't spawn for me. If they did, I never could see any evidence of it. So I did let someone buy those. So I'm really interested in this new collection point Godiai. And let's see, these are Melanotania Kanga collection point. Your buddies. And what are these? The Multisquamata. Where are they? Multisquamata Membrano. Sorry about the algae, not sorry. They actually pick at it, and the snails love it too. So there are 3 or 4 in here. There's one that's a real butt. I think it's that male there.